Today, I want to tell you 3 stories from the life of one of the greatest innovators, Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs wasn't just a tech genius, he was a visionary who changed the way the world communicates, creates, and connects. But his life was far from easy. Before Apple became the trillion-dollar company we know today, his journey was filled with setbacks and breakthroughs. Today, we'll take a closer look at 3 defining moments in Steve Jobs' life that made him one of history's greatest innovators. Let's start with the first story. Steve Jobs dropped out of Reed College after just 6 months. With no clear direction, he followed his curiosity instead of convention. He wasn't chasing a degree or a career, he was searching for something meaningful. One day, he stumbled into a calligraphy class, captivated by the beauty of handwritten fonts and elegant lettering. No one, not even Steve, could have predicted that this seemingly random choice would shape the future of personal computing. Years later, when he was designing the first Macintosh computer, that calligraphy class came back to him. He designed the Mac with multiple typefaces and proportionally spaced fonts, something revolutionary for its time. If he hadn't dropped out of college, the Mac might never have had those fonts. And because Windows copied the Mac, it's likely no personal computer would have had them. This story isn't just about innovation, it's about trusting your instincts and following curiosity. You can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backward. So you have to trust that the dots will somehow connect in your future. Trust your gut, your destiny, your path. Now you might wonder, what happened after that? How did Steve Jobs go from being a college dropout to building one of the most successful companies in the world? Stay with us, there's more to his story. Hit that subscribe button so you never miss the lessons behind stories like these. At the age of 20, Steve co-founded Apple in his parents' garage. In just 10 years, Apple grew into a $2 billion company with over 4,000 employees. But then something unthinkable happened. Steve Jobs was fired from his own company. How does someone get fired from the company they built? As Apple grew, differences emerged between Steve and the leadership he brought in. Eventually, the board of directors sided with them, and Steve was out. It was devastating. Imagine having your life's work taken away from you. For months, he felt like a failure. But slowly, he realized something. He still loved what he did. And when you love what you do, you don't give up. You start again. Steve Jobs was brainstorming and working late at night in a new office. Steve didn't just bounce back. He created 2 of the most iconic companies in history. He founded Next, a computer company that developed revolutionary technology, and Pixar, the animation studio that gave us Toy Story, the world's first computer-animated film. Pixar is now the most successful animation studio in the world. Then, in an incredible twist of fate, Apple bought Next and brought Steve Jobs back as CEO. The technology Steve developed at Next became the foundation for Apple's rebirth. He took Apple from the brink of bankruptcy to becoming one of the most valuable companies in the world. Sometimes, life's greatest setbacks lead to the biggest comebacks. When Steve was 17, he read a quote, "If you live each day as if it were your last, one day you'll be right." That quote stayed with him for the rest of his life. Every morning, he looked in the mirror and asked himself, if today were the last day of my life, would I want to do what I'm about to do today? And if the answer was no too many days in a row, he knew he needed to make a change. In 2004, Steve Jobs was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. He fought hard, but he knew his time was limited. Yet he didn't let fear paralyze him. Instead, he lived each day with purpose and focus, creating products that would change the world: iPhones, iPads, and more. Here is Steve Jobs holding the first iPhone at its iconic launch event. Remembering that you're going to die is the most important tool for making life's big decisions. Almost everything, all external expectations, all fear of failure, falls away in the face of death, leaving only what truly matters. Your time is limited. Don't waste it living someone else's life. Steve Jobs taught us that life isn't just about success. It's about staying true to yourself, following your heart, and never settling for anything less than what you love. His message is as relevant today as ever. Stay hungry. Stay foolish. If this story inspired you, make sure to subscribe and follow your dreams, just like Steve did. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more inspiring stories.